happening, folks? Welcome to day 3 of Street Notes in New York City. I'd been standing shooting at this point for a little while, waiting on some people to pass through the scene, hopefully just spread themselves out in the right way. This was right at the end of it, and I got this shot right here. This whole time I'd been standing hoping that I would get someone in either of those white blocks at opposite sides of the screen, and if I was lucky I'd get people in the middle as well. I thought this was the closest I'd got, but when I looked back through the photos, there's a couple other ones that I liked, but I think probably the best one was this one, where we've got the guy with this red suitcase that pops out at the front. There's a guy on the left that fills in that white block, and a guy on the right that fills in the white block as well. I'd been at this spot the day before and came back and the light was looking good as well. I really love this sort of triangle of light and all that dark shadow as people are passing through. Creates a lot of negative space. This one was okay, but I wanted to change my composition up. This next one, this one got really close here. The shot I took before it, she was just too far back into the frame and I wanted to get her in that corner. And here she might just be slightly too far on the edge of the frame. But I do like how close that I got here, or that she got really. I was just standing there. Maybe an Instagram shareable, but it's a near miss, I think. Again, for some reason the GoPro was switched off and I'd taken a couple shots of this guy sitting on this curb and realised that he was just not gonna even care that I was standing beside him this whole time. He was just in his own world. He makes this gesture to take a draw of his cigarette. I think if the person on the right was more interested, it would have been better, but I just like the composition of this, and I like the guy sat on the curb and just ignored the fact there was a bus coming. In this next scene here, I found these guys juggling in Bryant Park, and I got closer, they didn't seem to care. And I started talking to them a little bit. They said I could just keep photographing if I wanted. And then one of them suggests that I stand in the middle and they will juggle over the top of my head. So that was a little bit daunting, but I'd give it a go for the shot, why not?
Whoa. Wow, this is great. Can I just keep standing here for a minute? Yeah, man. just keep putting me in danger. I'm just gonna go sideways. Right. I'm cool with this, is great.
Not that much danger, less danger. Danger.
This shot here is probably one of my favourites of the day, maybe even one of my favourites of the entire trip. The angle that these two juggling pins, I don't know what they're called, are coming in it sort of towards his head, and the gesture of his hand. We've got the New York backdrop behind him. For as simple as this shot is, it's got a lot in there that just, I think looks really cool. I'm really happy with this. As I make my way up Fifth Avenue, I realise how many people are just interestingly dressed. This lady with a really cool tie-dye shirt on and really brightly coloured glasses and headband, bright coloured nails as well. As a reminder, I feel like I always have to say stuff like this. Most of the pictures in today's video are not pictures that I would call bangers, maybe not even ones that I would post on Instagram, but it's me working through ideas and just things that I've seen that might be interesting and sort of just fishing for those good photos. And while this video that you see is, 15 to 20 minutes long, I was actually out shooting for about 6 hours on this particular day. So you also see this condensed timeline. Now here you see this light that's reflecting onto the ground from behind me and sort of casting these interesting pools of light. I decided to move over to the side of the curb for whatever reason, maybe just the way the light was hitting people. Just by chance, the first thing that walks along is this guy doing this interesting gesture to his face with his green shirt on that really stands out, and walks right through that patch of light, and I think he's framed really well here. I do maybe wish that that person right behind him wasn't there, but I do think he's still, well defined in there. He's the clear subject, and then you've got this whole dark area with little patches of light, and then the other guy with this spotlight of sun hitting his face as he's walking past as well. Stood at this spot for quite a while longer, seeing if anything better would come by. It was a missed opportunity. Look at that wall there with all that advertisements and stuff on it. That would have been really cool. Maybe it's because the light wasn't strongly hitting it that I moved on, but somehow I missed it. Here's another corner that I spent a lot of time on, but that sort of scaffolding stuff that's there, casting different shadows and sort of narrowing the flow of the street, I guess, a little bit. I'm seeing all these yellows and blues passing through, and I'm thinking, how can I possibly use these? I'm not quite seeing the way to do it, but then this taxi goes past and the lady's doing this gesture, so I include her in there. This picture is very reminiscent, I think I thought of this at the time, but there's a Matthias Wasek shot that's in New York, probably on 5th Ave, of a woman in a yellow jacket hailing a cab. Much nicer than this one, but the second I did this, I sort of saw a crappy version of that shot in it. This guy had a Leica, don't know who he was though. I thought this woman was going to turn towards me as she was lighting her cigarette, but she turned away, so it didn't work out as well as I hoped. Another interesting person getting their photo taken on 5th Ave here. Framed her with a dark background and that sort of vanishing perspective down 5th Ave. Very fashionable looking person, and I thought this was kind of pretty cool. I don't mind this at all. So here, this is my brain literally saying, oh, the light's nice here, there's good shadowy patches. How the hell do I frame it? Where do I stand? And how can I get the right combination of people flowing through this? I like that this guy was standing just with the shadow covering the top of his head. possibly my favourite of this spot. Was not something I expected because I thought this was going to be way too simple, but this woman in the red shirt with the white pants, and I think this looks pretty cool, even though it doesn't have the depth and the layers that I usually want to get. Here I was thinking, oh, this could be a cool scene, but you know, nothing's gonna happen in front of me, and I dropped the camera and these two kids ran past, so completely missed out on that. Keep coming back to this same corner. It's a really good intersection with a lot of foot traffic. Thought I would try something with this reflective sort of chrome surface here. Sat here for quite a while and couldn't really get what I wanted for most of the time, or maybe it just wasn't gonna work out and I was just experimenting, you know. After a while, someone does get close enough that I can kind of fill the frame with them right here. I don't really think it worked out how I really wanted it to. It doesn't look bad, but it's not great either. New York is just chaos most of the time. It's really hard to find a scene that where you can get everything placed right. This was a scene that I thought I saw something in, and I worked it for a while, but it never really gave me what I wanted, and I think maybe I was just hoping that it would have something more interesting. I do like that people started crossing into the street. I think they were maybe trying to make a light or something. And a couple of these are not terrible, but the yellow thing really just kind of takes over, and I wish I hadn't tried to put it in the foreground. I then noticed there was a discarded burger left on the top of it. It's getting close to the time where I'm heading to the train out of the city, but I stopped to try and photograph these pigeons on this step, and after many failed shots, I managed to get this one. In fact, this may have been right in the middle somewhere, I don't know, I just remember taking a lot of shots in attempts to get this, or to get a shot that I liked, and somewhere in it, this one happened. Unfortunately, the pigeon's head is kind of cut off by the caution tape, but I do like it. It's, you know, his wings are spread out. He's the only one flying there. All the rest of them fill out the bottom of the frame, and I think it looks quite cool. That is it for episode 3 of Street Notes in New York City. Be back to Denver or maybe Philadelphia. I think I have more Philadelphia stuff to do. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Drop me a comment down below, let me know what you thought of these. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and this camera's heavy. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.